This is the last legislative session, in fact, the last session of any sort for 2019. We've got a lot to get through tonight, really full agenda. But and I also want to welcome, we have some special guests this evening. First of all, State Senator, former Mayor Tim Carney. Hello, Tim, thanks for coming.
Thank you, David.
Editor of the Swarthmore Borough, Rachel Paston. Thank you, Rachel. I think we have a scout in the audience, is that true?
Yep.
Your name, sir?
Aidan McLean.
Aidan McLean, welcome. And you're here to fulfill a citizenship requirement?
Yeah,
Or?
in the community merit badge.
Fantastic. Well, welcome. Glad to have you. And of course, many others in the audience, as well as we always have.
As my husband would say, your lovely wife, Patricia.
Well, I didn't want to be accused of nepotism or something, but yes, after 8 years, Patricia has made it to a meeting, and I'm just delighted. It's so great. It's so great to have her here. She gets, the full readout when I get home, so she doesn't have to watch it on television. But, anyway, I guess we should get started. So we have one public comment period this evening, and that's now. If there's any member of the public who would care to address council on any issue, please step up to the podium, state your name and address.
Good evening, Council. Rick Lee, President of the Fire Company. This past Saturday, we laid to rest Michael Malinowski on Saturday. He was a captain with our sister fire company at Morton Rutledge, and he had passed away from cardiac complications following a call. So this was it's been a very sad week and a very long weekend dealing with this. So with this occurring Saturday, I reached out to our Mayor, Marty Spiegel, to help us with manpower to keep our tree sales going. And he quickly had several people lined up to assist us. And so I'd like to have a big thank you to Marty from the fire company, from both Morton Rutledge and Swarthmore, and the community for stepping up to help us in our time of need. It was greatly appreciated. With that said, this will be our last weekend coming up for the tree sales. And so we do expect to sell out, so don't wait till Sunday to stop and get your tree. We may be sold out by then, as we were last year. So, and last but not least, I hope to see you all this Saturday at the pageant of the Nativity put on by the town, for the town. Growing the beard nicely, hopefully you'll be in for ready, and hope to see you all there. It's a fun evening, Saturday, 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock at Lang Hall.
Thank you, Rick. Sorry for your loss, and the beard's looking kind of prophetic.
Yes, very much so.
All right, thanks. Any other public comment? State Senator Tim Carney, I guess, doesn't need introduction, but give us your address anyway.
Tim Carney, 539 Westminster Avenue. I just wanted to say that the journey that I went on in the last couple of years was very intense. And I always look to you, David, as a way, as a role model for how to conduct oneself in a public forum. I think you did it with grace and with style, and the borough is better off for your service, and the borough mission. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. I appreciate those very, very kind words. It was certainly a pleasure working with you, and you were our mayor, as it is with our current mayor, Marty Spiegel, and the mayor before you, Rick Lowe. I've had the opportunity to work with 3 different mayors. It's been fantastic. And I guess I'll just say it right now. This is my final meeting. I'm a little bit nostalgic about it. I'm going to miss everyone on council. I've enjoyed working with all of you a lot, as with all the members of council over the past 8 years. And not to mention our police chief, Ray Stufflet, and his predecessor, Brian Craig, Rick Lee, Rob Hanson of the fire company. That's been fantastic. Elise and Nancy in the front office, Bob Scott, borough solicitor, and of course, Jane, she who must be obeyed. No, seriously, it's been really great working with Jane because, as we all know, she is a super competent, super efficient borough manager. And I think it makes all of our jobs here on Borough Council a lot easier because we can depend on her. And all of the borough employees, I don't want to leave anyone out, certainly Cuzzy in the Public Works Department, and also in the Police Department, Bill Thomas, Sergeant Bill Thomas, and the other officers. I mean, it's all, just really a first-rate group of people, and I'll miss working with you. And I guess the other thing I'll say is that I was kind of looking back, thinking about what's happened in the last 8 years, and we've witnessed a lot, and we've accomplished a few things. For example, the inn was constructed. The infamous and now famous roundabout was built. We instituted a number of traffic calming measures, pedestrian crosswalks in the borough. We rationalized the parking system, including the installation of passport parking, allowing one to park with a mobile device. What else have we done? Worked on infrastructure. We made the borough more aware, I think, than it has been in the past of the very serious environmental and ecological issues we're facing, everything from recycling to global warming. We went through a huge transition, an easy and a smooth one, but a big transition nevertheless in the police department with the retirement of former Chief Brian Craig and the hiring of our current Chief, Ray Stufflin. We beefed up the Human Relations Commission, rationalized the permit process for events. A lot of things. I'm only mentioning things that are sort of the top of my mind right now. And I think also it's important to, we can give ourselves a little bit of a pat on the back, and I want to thank Michael Carey and the Finance Committee. We're leaving the borough at the end of this year anyway in very sound fiscal condition. It's actually been in good shape really the entire time I've been on council. And it's in good shape right now. So I'm really pleased about that. Not to say that the borough won't have a few challenges going forward, things like infrastructure, things like the future of fire and emergency, medical service protection, pension obligations, etc. These aren't things that are unique to Swarthmore, but things that that we'll be dealing with in the future. But I feel like the borough's in great hands, and all those challenges will be successfully met. So, is there anyone? I've had my public comment period. Is there anyone else who care to address council? If not, I'll close public comment period and we'll move on to the agenda. Public comment period closed. The first item of business is approval of the minutes of our November 12th, 2019 and December 2nd, 2019 meetings. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I noticed one tiny little thing in the minutes for November 12th. On the second page, 6 people voted in favor of the bids dealing with trash removal, and Ross's name inadvertently got left off the list of 6. But, any other questions or comments or anything like that for the minutes? Let's have a vote then. All in favor of approving the minutes of November 12th and December 2nd, 2019 as drafted, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The motion carries. The minutes are approved. Next item on the agenda is consideration of the 2020 council meeting schedule. We made one small change, I think, at the end. So the last work session for 2020 will be Tuesday, December 1st, I think that, and then the legislative session Monday, December 14th. I think that was the only change. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Any second?
Second.
Dueling motions and seconds. I love that.
Michael can have it.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Wait, need the first? This is second.
Yeah.
Need a buzzer.
Yeah.
Yeah, buzzer.
All in favor of approving the 2020 council meeting schedule, say aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it. The schedule's approved. We'll now move on to the holiday schedule. I have a motion to approve the 2020 holiday schedule.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Wait, are we gonna have a discussion?
Is there any discussion?
I would just like to.
See,
Sorry.
there you go. I was going to take it for granted. Yes.
I don't know if you guys heard, but recently there was a 5th grade class who went and spoke to Rutledge Council about changing the name of the holiday in October from Columbus Day to something else. And I did hear that they might be coming to visit us at the beginning of the year, so I just wanted to kind of put a bug in everyone's ear about that. And I didn't know whether, and I know we've discussed it a little bit also. So, I mean, I don't know if it would, I don't think it's going to stop us from passing it as it stands right now, but I just thought I would pass it with that note at least.
Okay. All right. So Monday, October 12th, in parentheses, is described as Columbus Day. That might change at some point in the future, but any other comments or suggestions or edits to the holiday schedule for 2020? Hearing none, let's have a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The holiday schedule is approved. Next, we have a number of resolutions to get through. The first is resolution number 2019-07, which sets fees, charges, and fines for 2020. Based on our discussion last week, we made, I think, Jane, correct me if I'm wrong, but only one change.
That's correct.
It was on page 4. The $50 fee for formerly sidewalk curbing and or curb cut permit is now for curbing and curb cut permits only. The sidewalk fee being eliminated, the sidewalk repair fee permit being eliminated. Can I have a motion to approve that resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the ayes have it. Resolution number 2019-07 is adopted. Next, we have resolution 2019-08, which is sets salaries and benefits for borough employees for the year 2020. I'm not sure if we made any changes to this from the last time. We did not. Right. So can I have a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, Mike can have it.
Any discussion? Hearing none, let's have a vote. All in favor of adopting resolution 2019-08, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it, the motion carries. Resolution 2019-08 is adopted. Next up is the award of the bid for 2020 tree removals. This is something that we discussed at the last work session as well. Can I have a motion to approve that bid award?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I'll just remind everyone that Knight Brothers, I believe, was the sole bidder, and that's what we're approving for 2020 tree removals. Any additional discussion? No? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? You guys have it, and that bid is accepted. Next, we have the award of the bid for safety improvements in the Borough Administrative Office. Jane, I don't have a copy of
Yeah,
that.
do you have it with you? Do you have, it's do you have it with you?
We talked about it last week, but
I can get it.
Yeah, why don't you get it? All right, the low bidder of the three was Boeco, BOEECO, and this one.
yeah, I think it's actually in the minutes, probably.
I don't think the amount's in there.
Yeah, I think you're right. 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 Yeah. Yeah, we discussed it, but I guess not the the amounts aren't in the minutes in any way. So we'll pause for a second while we, here it comes. Hey, thanks, Elise. All right, so the company submitting the bid is Boedco, B-O-E-D-C-O. We talked last week about what they were going to do. And I believe the grand total is $12,014.45. Does that sound right?
Mhm.
All right. Can I have a motion to award that bid to Boedco?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any additional discussion? Jane, you're happy with
Yeah, and I think more importantly, the, Elise and, yeah.
Elise, you're happy with it?
Yes.
I mean,
Okay.
there's a lot of work to try and figure out what would work for the public, what would work in the office, so yeah, we're very happy.
Okay, great. All right, so can I have a motion to award that bid then to, did I ask for that already?
Yeah.
Okay, did we get a second?
Yes, we did.
We're in the middle of discussion. All right, all in favor of awarding the bid to Boedco for $12,014.45, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, the ayes have it, and the bid is awarded. Great, thank you. That's all I have, excuse me, on my portion of the agenda. Lauren?
No report.
No report from the Environment Committee? Okay. Michael, Finance.
I do have a few things.
Yeah, you've got a few things.
Okay, let's start with the financial report for November. Things are going basically as expected, no surprises. Still 1 month to go. The cash balance at the end of November was $866,079. I think we were originally targeting about $425,000 by the end of the year. It could be slightly more than that, so I think we're running actually a little bit ahead of that, but nothing dramatically different. So I think as expected. Not much really to add otherwise. I think it's, again, as expected. So any questions as it relates to the financial report?
I just have one question
Yeah.
on the budget, and I think I asked this before and I don't remember the answer, but the miscellaneous expenditures they were over budget.
Yeah, I'm actually carrying that in here. I think, what was it in the expenditure?
It was budgeted 2,500, it came in at 1,600.
I think it was,
It was an odd item.
It was an odd
Was it
item.
like an insurance thing?
it was an
where
insurance
something
thing of
went in that something came in?
$8,400, that, it was a revenue check came in,
Right.
and then we ended up
That's
writing it
what it
out
was.
of the expenditure.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So, I always look at the percentages to see, and it's pretty good. I mean, Jane, you do a really good job because the percentages come on, and it's hard to budget.
Yeah.
So I think you and I do a great job.
It's 99%, Gene. 0.9. Any other questions as it relates to the financial report? Okay, moving on to wire transactions and bills to pay. I'd first like to make a motion to approve wire transactions for November 2019 for $1,642.26.
So moved.
Second.
Second, okay.
You second it?
I second it.
All right, all right. Any discussion? Let's have a vote then. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the ayes have it. The motion to ratify wire transactions is approved.
Okay, moving on to bills to pay, through at least partially through part of December. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to review those. I'd like to make a motion to approve bills totaling $139,020.63.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll have a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries.
Okay, we'll move on now to the 2020 budget. Nothing has changed since the discussion of last week in terms of the numbers, but happy to take any questions if there are any before making a motion to approve that budget. Is that a final budget then? Is that what we call it? Okay.
Yeah, this is a vote coming up on the final budget for 2020.
Yeah.
You want to move to?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the budget in front of you, the 2020 budget.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any additional discussion? We've spent a lot of time talking about it, but there's always time for more, so. Anything, any comments? All right, let's then have a vote. All in favor of approving the 2020 budget in its final form, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it, the motion carries. The budget is approved.
Okay. Okay, now we're going to move on to to ordinance 1088, which is essentially the taxes and usage fees for the year. As discussed, in terms of the taxes and millage, they will remain the same, and the usage fees for waste disposal will go to $415 per dwelling, and the sanitary sewer will go to $8.40 per 1,000 gallons of water, right? I have those numbers correct, yes. Just want to make sure my sheet is updated. And essentially, there's no changes from what we talked about last week. So I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance 1088.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion of 2020 taxes and fees? Hearing none, we'll have a vote. All in favor of passing ordinance 1088, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The motion carries and ordinance 1088 is opposed.
Okay. Next, we're going to go on to the resolutions that we discussed last week. I won't go into detail, but I'll try to give just a brief for what they are. Resolution 2019-09 is the authorization for the borough tax collector to collect the annual sanitary sewer usage fees. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution 2019-09.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carries. Resolution number 2019-09 is adopted.
Okay. Next, moving on to resolution 2019-10, which is our contribution to the non-uniform pension plan for 5% of the compensation for the year 2020. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 2019-10.
Is there a second?
Second.
Just a little comment here. Lest those of you who are just tuning in and don't follow our meetings on a religious basis, we've talked about all these things a lot before, so we're kind of moving very quickly through the legislative session this evening and passing these various, passing the ordinance and adopting the various resolutions, but they've been subject to a lot of discussion before tonight, so that's why we're moving quickly. We don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. There's actually deliberation that goes on here. All right, so then let's have a vote on resolution 2019-10. All right?
Yeah.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. 2019-10 is adopted.
Okay. Next, moving on to resolution 2019-11. It's identical to the previous one, but it's for the police pension plan. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 2019-11.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Resolution 2019-11 is adopted.
Okay. Next, moving on to resolution number 2019-12, and this relates to the cost of living increase to pensioners, which we discussed in detail last meeting at 0%, given that there are other cost of living increases that they get, and this is typically what we've been giving recently. So I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 2019-12.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it. Resolution 2019-12 is adopted.
Okay. Next, moving on to resolution number 2019-13, which is appointing Barber King Thornton and Company LLP as our accountant. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 2019-13.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it. Resolution 2019-13 is adopted.
And I believe we're at the last one, which is, for me anyway, is resolution 2019-14, which is giving the borough employees the opportunity to use INR advisory services, similar to the pension plan. So I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution 2019-14.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I just wanted to thank Michael and Bob and Jane for taking the time to explain the CBIZ INR part, because that was a lot, so thank you.
No problem. It's not intuitive.
Again, that happened at our last meeting.
Right.
And David?
Yes.
For the benefit of our scout who's here,
Yes.
so that you understand what David was saying before, we have several committees, and all members of council participate on these committees. They'll hear these things first. They might have multiple committee meetings on the subject, which are public meetings, and then they'll be brought before a council meeting where there's a work session, and there'll be long discussion at the work session. You're just seeing the end of the process where all that has already happened. So unfortunately, you'll have to come back in January or February, or come to a committee meeting if you want to see all the debates and discussions.
Thank you, Ross. All right. Let's have a vote on resolution 2019-14. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it. Motion carries, and resolution 2019-14 is adopted.
That's it, except thanking you. Thanks, David, for your leadership. That's all.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. It was a pleasure working with you. Sarah, general government?
So we did not meet in November, and we won't be meeting in December. But the Human Relations Commission did meet, and so they're meeting regularly now. And free parking is still happening on Fridays until December, after, what is it, 11 or 10? I always forget,
I
but
think it's 10.
after 10. Don't forget. And that's it.
Excellent. Thank you, Sarah.
And thank you, too. I want to echo. Thank you.
Thanks. Again, it's been great working with you. Unfortunately, Betsy Larson is excused this evening. Is there anyone else from the Planning and Zoning Committee?
Lauren and I are here, and if Jane will remind me of the person's name, I'm happy to make a
I think the
motion.
idea was to appoint Chris Hunter to fill the unexpired term of Rachel Passman.
Is he currently the
He is
alternate?
currently an alternate,
Okay,
yes.
so that is what I would like to do, is make a motion to appoint Chris Hunter as a member of the zoning hearing board.
And to fill the unexpired, it's an unexpired term. Because there'll be another appointment next month for a new term.
Okay.
From another.
How long is the unexpired term, do you know?
3 years? Were you 2 years
Oh, it's
in,
Rachel's
Rachel?
term.
Yeah.
I never really had, no, I was just appointed in June.
Yeah, so it's probably, they were almost the same.
Okay, so to fill the unexpired term of Rachel Paston.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I want to thank Chris Hunter for stepping forward and agreeing to do that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carries.
We did meet this month. We did talk about the Airbnb issue.
Okay.
And the takeaway was we were not taking any action on that.
I mean,
Hey, I'd like to say something, which is that
Sure.
it's too hard to enforce things and too hard to even know what's going on in people's houses, really, you know. But we encourage people to talk to your neighbors, especially if you're going to have people staying at your house that might create parking issues or whatever. Just please be neighborly, communicate with them, and if you're an upset neighbor, try to talk to the one who's, and just talk to each other, and I think that's the best way going forward. And in any, like always, if there's a disturbance or something that is really upsetting to you, call 911, you know, if it's that bad. So that's it. And we'll keep an eye on the situation. I don't think we have too many problems right now.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Mary. Anything else from that committee?
No.
Mary, Public Safety?
Thank you. We did not meet this month and will not be meeting this month, but we do need to vote on this contract with Brandywine Veterinary Hospital that we discussed at our last meeting. This is the contract that covers what we do with stray animals when they've overstayed their welcome here at the borough. Their next stop is Brandywine Vet. The only term that was changed was the time period. That's it. So.
All right, so let's have a vote then. We have a motion to...
So I'd like to move to approve the annual contract between the Borough of Swarthmore and Brandywine Veterinary Hospital.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion or any further discussion? There being none, let's have a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carries and the contract's approved. Anything else, Mary?
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ross, Public Works.
So the only thing we have is the awarding the bid for the repair of the walls in Central Park. There was a bidding process, the manager can describe that. Circulated was the bid from LJ Paolella Construction in the amount of $41,366. And they were the firm that satisfied the borough's requirements. Jane, do you want to add anything?
I don't think so. I think their references checked out. They've done a lot of public work in Delaware County and elsewhere. And we had a nice meeting. They seem to understand the project, and we expect that they might do a little demolition during the winter, but they will definitely be done before the farmers market starts up again in May.
And it's to remove existing rander's walls and construct new walls using a particular type of masonry unit that was selected. And we want to thank Tim's wife for her help in designing this, and Tim's help throughout this process. And especially want to thank the Centennial Foundation for providing the funding for this. And the town is very grateful for their original generosity, and their generosity to continue to make sure that it's good. So I make a motion that we approve awarding the contract in the amount of $41,366 to LJ Paolella Construction.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Yeah, I just want to echo what Ross said. Thanks to Carney Cueto, architectural firm, and to the Centennial Foundation for providing the funding. And that's another thing that we accomplished in recent years, that is the construction of Centennial Park, which I think is a really nice, another nice addition for the borough. So kudos to everyone on that. Any other discussion? If not, let's have a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it, and the bid is awarded.
So I would just like to add to what other people said. I've really enjoyed working with you, David, personally and professionally on this. I think you've had a steady, even hand. You made it very pleasant and fun. And when I came on 4 years ago, as you remember, we had 3 Davids on the council. David Grove and David Murphy and David Cragen, and it was the Davids. And so we're at the end of an era. No more Davids on the council.
It's hard to believe.
My middle name is David, just in case you're nostalgic.
Yes. So, again, what we've all said, all of us on council have said this, and our mayors, that the town operates, through a lot of volunteer effort. you in particular put a lot of time in when we were having the new chief come in. You spent a huge amount of time on that, and with your lawyer background and expertise, you were really great and helped us come to a great conclusion, which is tremendously beneficial to the town for years and years and years and years to come. So I just want to thank you.
Well, thank you, Ross. It's been, again, it was a real pleasure and an honor to work with all of you and to contribute whatever I could to betterment of the borough.
That's the end of my report.
Great. Any other business to come before council at this time? Marty?
Yes. Just a couple of issues. I just wanted to award of appreciation to Swarthmore Town Center and all the volunteers that worked on Home for the Holidays. It was just an incredible event with hundreds and hundreds of kids that really were part of the whole thing and enjoyed, families that enjoyed the day. So I know all the work that goes into putting that on. So, and everything seemed to go really extremely well, no major problems. Thanks to the fire company for all that they do, and again, it couldn't be done without the number of people that really work at making that thing operate so well, so efficiently, and without any major problems. And the only other thing I just wanted to bring to council's attention is Ray and I met this morning with representatives of the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development to start discussion on a extensive management study that they will be doing of the police department. You may remember this came up as a recommendation from council actually during the budget discussions for the police department, and it was thought at that time that we really need to kind of get a sense of an objective view outside of an outside individual or organization about personnel needs. That's where it started. But the evaluation goes way beyond the issue of personnel. It really is a thorough, it's going to address numerous issues regarding the running of our department, everything from, they'll take a look at the roster of the officers' salaries and benefits, the police rules and regulations, the geography covered, the operations and relationship between the police department, our schools, the college. So really it should be a very, very in-depth evaluation and report. Probably will take about 6 months before we get results. And they will probably be contacting some individuals outside of the department to get additional information. They'll be talking to the officers and certainly extensively to Ray, but they may even be in contact with people from council. So if you are contacted, just understand kind of what it's all about, and we'd be more than happy to answer questions about that. Again, I'm looking forward to this specifically to see what this organization is. The study is going to be conducted by John Ellers, who's a former retired police chief from Brookhaven, who works as a fee-for-service contractor for this organization, the state organization, and he'll be doing evaluations of records. Ray put together an enormous number of reports, everything from incidents to contract issues for them to review. So we look forward to the results, and I think it's going to be informative for all of us to see. I have no doubt that they're going to come back showing that our department is extremely well run, and we'll talk about the personnel issues as those things come up. So again, thank you for the recommendation, because I really think it's a step in the right. I think Ray and I are both looking forward to it. Really on a very positive way. And again, so as not to be the lone voice standing out in the wilderness, not saying anything, David, I will also say how much I appreciated your, first of all, your support in putting me in this chair as my tenure as the appointed mayor comes to a close, and actually become anointed next month. But also our relationship goes back from the times when I was on Swarthmore Town Center and working with parking, and I remember many conversations we we had about lots of things. So I really appreciate everything you've done, and your steady hand, and I've learned a lot this last several months, so thank you.
Well, thank you, Marty. I appreciate those words, Marty. That's, I feel the same way, and as I said before, it's been great working with all the mayors, most recently with you, and I'm really delighted that you're in that chair. And of course, Tim Carney, I had the pleasure of working with him for 4 years, and needless to say, he's a fantastic mayor and an even better state senator, so we're very fortunate. And you know, I'm glad that you will be anointed and that you'll be around for another 4 years. I think that's really great. So thank you, Marie. All right, Jane.
I just have a few things. On the manager's report, you'll notice that throughout the year, there's been a steady increase in the use of the recycling center for both paper and the other material that can go there, and less on the curbside commingled. We certainly will hope to work with that ad hoc committee to continue that trend, because we now know that everything that gets picked up curbside will be paying $105 a ton to recycle. The other material, not so. Anything at the recycling center and the paper, we actually make money. So we'll hope to continue those efforts to direct people to the recycling center, and also, if they're able, and also to give a lot of information about reducing use of material in general. I wanted to say that we got our first report from the electric vehicle charger, which may seem like it never has a car there, but interestingly enough, in the very first month, we had 58 occupied hours, and of those, 38 hours were charged, because I think people leave their cars after they're all charged up. The revenue, which of course is really just covering the cost of the electricity, was $110. And they give some nice statistics. It saved 26 gallons of gasoline, and there were 12 unique different drivers, that utilized the parking spaces. So that's great. I think it's exciting to know that it's there, and I would expect there'll be more use as more people buy electric vehicles. The only other thing that I had two other things. One was a thank you to David, and he did forget one thing that was very important to him during his tenure, which he probably thinks he had nothing to do with, but he did. And that is, one thing that people might not know, but under Pennsylvania law, we do let our neighbors know whenever we are doing something in planning or zoning that affects them. And one of the things that came up at the Planning and Zoning Committee was there's some new restaurants, things going in at Old Sproul Village, and on this Thursday, and I might go, if anybody else is going, that would be great. Springfield Township Zoning Hearing Board is being asked to give a variance for the new sign for Outback. And it's and they're asking for a sign that's almost 90 square feet, whereas only 50 square feet is permitted. So I think and that's a variance, to be honest. It'll be interesting to see sort of what happens with at their zoning hearing board. I don't know that I plan to speak, but if anybody wants to go,
I might go, because it's shining at my back window.
yeah, you are the closest.
I'm seriously considering it.
And the only other thing I wanted to say about David is, let's be honest, during your tenure, the NCAA started a little thing called the National Football Championship. Those who are not football fans might not know that. And some of you might not know that David is a bit of a fan of Notre Dame, just a little bit. And while they did not win when they went, they had a not so great performance. It was during your tenure that you were here, and I'm pretty sure there's some connection there. I'm not sure exactly what it is. So I'm sure all the Notre Dame fans, thank you for your service here. I certainly do. It was a blast working with you. I really did. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
For your service.
Thank you so much. Same here. I mean, it's been, and you probably will see me from time to time, even if I don't come to the meetings. I drop by like tomorrow morning to sign checks. But
Or wave to us on your bike.
Yes.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
Bob, do you have anything?
No, thank you. I've enjoyed working with you, and thanks for your service, and please keep sending me wildlife sightings.
Yeah.
That I will. I saw a sharp-shinned hawk just the other day, but I couldn't get him on film,
Yeah, I
so
appreciate what you do, your photographs, and please keep them coming.
I will. Thank you, Bob. It's been great working with you. All right.
No, we're not going to adjourn
Oh,
yet.
not yet?
Because we have some lovely parting gifts to give and some more kind words on behalf of everyone.
Okay.
So just in case, I think a lot of people here know David well, but just in case you don't, I did my background research. And David has lived here since 1993. And before he became a lawyer, he was in the Foreign Service and worked for the State Department for 9 years and was stationed at embassies all over the world. He's never really told me, I don't think, what any of that entailed. I've always imagined it included like a white dinner jacket and shaken but not stirred, something like that. Something like that. So he's always been about public service, and then since he's lived here in Swarthmore, he was the president of A Better Chance Strathaven. He was also on the board of the Swarthmore Community Center at one time, raised his daughters here, is married to the lovely Patricia, who is a professor at the college. He has been a great leader for us because he has a very calm demeanor. His background in the law, well, he does all sorts of things, but he does a lot with arbitrations and mediations. That worked well for him when he had to be part of the FOP negotiations here. He was also very instrumental. We were on the team together in hiring Ray as the chief of our police, which has turned out to be a wonderful thing. But if people recall, we interviewed along with Michael and with Tim, I think maybe close to 30 candidates for that job. And David was very good with that, leading and how to go about it and the right questions to ask. I think he's someone that doesn't say a lot, but when he does say it, he means it, and he says the right thing at the right time. And that's something very valuable in a leader and the president of council. And I didn't call him too many times at White & Williams, but there were days I did when I was, maybe revved up about something, and he would listen, and he had a very good way of responding to that. So we've all enjoyed working with you, and we will miss your leadership going forward. But before you go, we have some lovely parting gifts for you. Few little things. So let's see what we've got here. We have a lot of tissue paper.
That's always good.
Okay. So I think we all know how much David loves his dogs, and I'm sorry, I don't know the dogs' names. What are their names?
Clover, Lily, and Ivy.
Okay, Clover, Lily, and Ivy, and they are Irish.
2 Irish setters and 1 English setter.
Okay, all right, well, we don't have anything that fancy with Irish setters, but we do have this. It's called Off the Leash, The Secret Life of Dogs. So that's something for
Perfect.
you
Thank
to
you so
enjoy
much.
in your
That's
spare
perfect.
time. And then we also have
Love that.
here, it's all dog themed.
That's good.
Okay, and again, Off the Leash, it's a dog's life.
Fantastic.
All right, these are for you to read on the train on the way to work.
I'm going to I'll read them to the dogs. I'm sure
Please do.
they'll enjoy them.
And
On
then,
vacation.
and I will tell you, Jane was kind enough to get these. So this is an
Wow.
organic dog biscuit cookbook.
Wow.
Because I understand your wife was telling me the other night, you're a very good cook. I did not know that. I don't know why food wasn't brought in here over all this time we've been
I
together.
dabble in the kitchen. But
Okay, but this is 25 recipes for dog wagging treats with little cookie cutters in the
Wow.
shape of
But
chocolates.
make sure he makes those, Patricia.
Yeah, sure he does.
I'm
The dogs are
definitely going to
counting
make
right
that.
now.
Make sure he does.
This is wonderful.
So I hope you enjoy those,
Thank you.
and I'm glad to hear that you and Patricia have decided to stay here in Swarthmore and age in place with the rest of us.
Yes.
So,
We are doing that.
so we wish you all the
I won't repeat everything I've already said, but it really has been a real pleasure and a real honor to do this. And I think the world of all of you that I've had the pleasure to work with the past 8 years. And I'm sure the borough's in great hands, and I'm sure whatever challenges come up, you will ably meet all of them. So I guess I'll just say good luck, and I'll see you around town. And now, the best part of the meeting, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. We're adjourned.